affordable insurance with Sagicor Pro Shield. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, shock and sorrow following judge's death. PNP and government clash over Jamaica's stance on Palestine at the UN. 29 students on board in Williamsfield bus crash. Jamaicans warned about sports trafficking. There's the business report and sports coming up.
News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday, courtesy of...
Your love lives on with life insurance from Sagicor.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Wednesday, October 1, 2025. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us. And details are emerging on the reported sequence of events leading up to the death of Judge Ruth Lawrence. Police reports say the 59-year-old was found unresponsive by her common-law spouse at her home in Coral Spring Village, Duncan's Trelawney. Our reporter Akeem Orrit has the details.
It was supposed to be a normal Tuesday morning for Judge Ruth Lawrence and her common-law spouse until tragedy struck. Police reports indicate that around 5 o'clock, both were at home but in separate rooms. Her partner knocked on her door to go for their usual morning run, but after she did not respond, he went running alone. On his return, he prepared breakfast and lunch for her. By 10 a.m., Judge Lawrence had still not emerged for court, leading him to believe she may have called in sick. Throughout the day, however, he made several checks. Between 1 and 2 p.m., he reportedly heard groaning from the bathroom. Then at 4 p.m., he says she responded weakly, complaining that she could not move. By the time he gained entry, Judge Lawrence reportedly told him that her stomach was burning and that she had consumed a toxic substance. She was rushed to the Falmouth Public Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. The news has left many in shock. Hugh Gentles is Custos of Trelawney.
It's a very tragic loss, and Miss Lawrence was someone who was very familiar with, who I knew quite well from opening of circuit every year for a number of years now, and which she shall surely be missed. And you know, the staff of the court office is very devastated by this loss. So I'm here as a member of the team to give my support and to urge them to put their best foot forward.
The People's National Party has also expressed sadness at her passing, noting that Judge Lawrence gave extensive and exemplary service to Jamaica's justice system. The party says her distinguished career was marked by a deep commitment to justice, fairness, and equity.
Judge Lawrence gave many years of faithful and distinguished service to Jamaica's justice system. She was known for her integrity, fairness, and compassion, qualities that earned her the admiration of her colleagues and the respect of those she served. Her life's work reflected the highest ideals of justice and equity, and her legacy will continue to inspire generations to come.
Police investigations are ongoing to determine the exact circumstances surrounding her death. Reporting for CVM News, I am Akeem Aret.
A profound loss. How Chief Justice Brian Sykes is describing the sudden death of Parish Court Judge Ruth Lawrence. Judge Lawrence was pronounced dead at the Falmouth Hospital Tuesday evening. In a media statement Wednesday, Chief Justice Sykes, on behalf of the judiciary, extended heartfelt condolences.
It is with deep and profound sorrow that I, on behalf of the judiciary and myself personally, extend heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Her Honor, Miss Ruth Lawrence. She began her career in the courts in September of 1997. Her service extended beyond the courtroom to enriching the lives of countless persons, children, families, and communities through her leadership and compassion. Her sudden passing is a profound loss to the courts and to all those who knew her.
A Kingston man is suspected to have committed suicide early this morning. He's since been identified as 30-year-old James Todd, a licensed firearm holder of Norbrook Drive, Kingston 8. Todd was said to have been suffering from a mental illness and was found with a fatal bullet wound sometime after 1 a.m. The St. Andrew North Police are investigating. A new multinational security support mission has been approved for deployment to Haiti following the imminent expiration of the current operation. This and other urgent global issues were key focus at the recently concluded United Nations General Assembly. The issue was discussed at this morning's post-cabinet press briefing. Amoy Harriet reports.
Are close to 1,000 military personnel from at least 6 countries now deployed in Haiti under the Kenya-led multinational security support mission to help tackle the country's ongoing security crisis. 23 of those are soldiers and police from Jamaica, and in just a few hours, that mission will expire. On the heels of this, the United Nations Security Council has passed a resolution to transform the multinational security support mission to a gang suppression force for an initial 12 months. The resolution sets a personnel ceiling of 5,550, with 5,500 military and police and 50 civilians. Now it's unclear how many boots each contributing country will actually deploy on the ground.
Jamaica has agreed to be a part of the group of standing partners. One of the countries, member countries of the group of standing partners that will be a part of the planning and the standing up of the new gang suppression force, as well as the monitoring and engagement as between that force and the Security Council.
At a post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday, Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith said this was one of the key global issues discussed at the recently concluded United Nations General Assembly. She highlighted that the countries are also working to develop a coordinated strategy to address the ongoing mass deportations from the U.S. This a week after a Jamaican man who was deported to Eswatini in Africa returned home. 62-year-old Orville Etoria was held in a maximum security prison in Eswatini for more than 2 months without charges or access to legal counsel. His lawyers accused the U.S. of deporting him there unlawfully in mid-July.
It was so delicate, it was so very sensitive across all the parties that it was really best not to be issuing releases on the matter until we had achieved the result, which we have, and we're very pleased also that his request for a quiet return is also being respected as well.
That aside, the senator notes Jamaica is deepening its commitment to contributing to international missions.
Jamaica has been at the heart of the reform process, and attendant to that is that we have now been asked, together with New Zealand, to lead the process of review of all of the mandates, the implementation of UN mandates, in order to be able to propose a way forward for the United Nations. So Jamaica, every time you hear somebody say, oh, Jamaica is not respected anymore, and no.
Amoy Harriet reporting for CVM News.
The government is pushing back against what it says are false statements by the opposition People's National Party that Jamaica is turning its back on the Palestinian people. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith insists Jamaica's position has been clear and consistent. Carla Ramdeen reports.
Spokesperson on Foreign Affairs, Senator Donna Scott Motley, on Tuesday accused the government of failing to show solidarity with the Palestinian people during a recent session of the United Nations General Assembly. Senator Scott Motley pointed to Jamaica's absence from a vote on whether Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas should be allowed to address the assembly remotely and the government's decision not to join other nations in walking out during Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech.
The government's passivity weakens Jamaica's moral voice and undermines our legacy.
But Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith strongly rejects the claim, calling it false and disingenuous. She pointed out that Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness in his UN address condemned the humanitarian toll on the Palestinian territories, called for a ceasefire, and reaffirmed support for a two-state solution.
It was not the 80th session, it was a special session that was called at short notice for that particular issue to be taken. And although I hear it being described as a key vote on Palestine, it was a procedural vote to agree for Palestine to be able to issue their national statement virtually. So we have a small team. No one was able to go there. There was never any risk to the vote. This is not the practice of Jamaica's diplomacy, that we prefer to listen, to be at a table, to engage, whether we agree or disagree. As I just stated earlier, that we are not performative in our practice of diplomacy.
Meanwhile, Christoph Simpson of the Jamaica Left Alliance for National Democracy and Socialism, LANDS, says the government is using passive language rather than addressing the real issue. He accused the government of siding with Israel.
It was when that was before the government recognized Palestine. Mm-hmm. They were talking about two-state solution. It is only after LANDS led protests in November 2023, and then we did another one in May 2024. It's after that November 1 that they decided to recognize Palestine, because they say it's hypocritical to say that you are supporting a two-state solution when you only recognize Israel. We made other demands, and the most important one here now is the demand to actually condemn Israel's actions. But they're not condemning Israel's actions. They're not calling it a genocide. They're not talking about the apartheid setup that the world has recognized. They use very, very abstract and weak language.
Mr. Simpson adds that there should have been a walkout with other nations in support of Palestine.
Well, if the style of the Jamaican government is to be weak and unprincipled, we can understand why they didn't want to walk out. But we believe there should have been a walkout. Other countries with principled leaders walked out. As to whether they're otherwise occupied, none of us really know whether that is true or not, so I don't want to make speculation and just say, oh, well, I don't believe them, but it is a little too convenient for that narrative.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
CVM News at 7 continues in just a moment.
Catch it early. Don't make it fall. Don't drop the ball.
Early detection can save your life.
Catch it early. Get screened for breast cancer today. Do your self-examination regularly.
And schedule your mammogram.
Make sure you're prepared with Sagicor Life Critical Illness Insurance.
Don't drop the ball.
Get ready to take flight. It's Aviation Expo 2025 in collaboration with the Airports Authority of Jamaica and the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, the island's ultimate aviation showcase and family fun day. Join us Saturday, October 4 from 12 to 8 p.m. at Kingston Aerodrome in Kingston with show host Ian I.T. Ellis. And guess what? It's free. Plus, the JCAA and JDF will be recruiting. Follow at Aviation Expo JA for updates.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them These 4 boys dream of playing in the ISA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield.
Thanks so much for staying with us. 29 students aboard a coaster bus escaped serious injuries after the driver lost control and veered off the Williamsfield Main Road in Manchester Wednesday morning. Police say all the students attend Knox College. Sergeant Florzel Williams of the Manchester Traffic Department told CVM News a few students sustained minor injuries and were taken to hospital, where others were traumatized and returned home.
This accident is a single vehicle accident and it involves a coaster bus carrying students of Knox College. There were 29 students on board. The vehicle, the driver lost control, applied weight, lost control and ran off the roadway right there. Minor injuries were sustained. Most of the students gone to school. Some are traumatized and their parents pick them up and they're gone back home. Like each motorist gets a dash cam, as that will clear up the ambiguity in most of these collisions.
The incident comes less than a week after approximately 21 students were involved in another bus accident near Gordon Town in St. Andrew. Teachers and residents of Greenwich Town in St. Catherine are once again raising concerns about a decades-old sewage issue plaguing their schools and community. They say the stench is unbearable, and despite numerous promises from the authorities, the problem persists. Akeem Oret has that story.
Just outside the gates of the Caribbean Palms Early Childhood Institution in Greenwich Town in Kingston, what greets children, teachers and parents daily is not the sound of learning, but the foul stench of untreated sewage. Principal at the Early Childhood Institution, Marlene Reed, says for over 11 years, the situation has been affecting the school and could lead to serious health challenges for her staff and students.
Especially when the smell comes up, we have to be covered our nose, covered our mouths, telling the children not to talk, stuff like that. So they actually have gotten used to it, and it's really daunting at times to know that these children have to be experiencing this.
Over at the nearby Greenwich Primary School, the problem is just as bad. Principal Andrea Richards, who has lived in the community since 1988, says the matter has been reported countless times, but it seems their complaints are not being heard.
Everybody's aware, I think, of it, that is within the environs, and nobody has helped us. It's as if our cries are falling on deaf ears. The ministry is aware of it also, and we get no help.
And according to Reed, only empty promises have been made by the related authorities.
We have been told, though, that it would have been moved before this scheme was built. So even when we came in, because I'm a resident here as well, so we were told that it would have been removed, and we're here for years now and still nothing has been done about it.
For Richards, it's a problem that has gone on for far too long, and she's again appealing for urgent intervention.
I would like this situation to be dealt with post-haste, because it's affecting us here. It's affecting our health. Maybe some of us will not be sick today, but in the long run, we will be sick. So I'm asking whoever, the people in high places, please help us, or we really need the help here to remedy the situation.
For the schools and residents in Greenwich Town, the demand is simple: fix the sewage plant and put an end to years of frustration. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
Is there a difference between defense and defending yourself? Well, amidst calls for daily conversations on breaking the power of imbalance, here's what Curlin Brown found out on a visit to a place of learning shortly after a team engagement on anti-bullying.
Despite being told to avoid responding to provocation, are more people, including children, standing up and facing their aggressors? Natalie Mothersill, an educator with 30 years' experience, is a grade 6 teacher at the New Providence Primary School in Kingston. She thinks, on a scale of 1 to 10, the students are functioning at a 9 in the positive, based on guidance supported by daily affirmations.
The fighting and the bullying, it's minimal. You know, children tend to look out for each other, remind each other, remember, we should not. Remember, you are too.
You know, it has been said that sometimes teachers set the pace and the children follow. Unfortunately, where teachers set the wrong example by just
it do happen. It's not common, but it do happen. It happens. I would say it's a rare occasion, maybe 1 in every 20 or so, and you'll find it mostly the younger teachers, because I don't know, coming from college, I don't know compared to when I went to college, where they teach them about how to deal with children and how to say words. And looking back I tend to love to use my personal experience, because I had a bad experience as a child, which I have never forgotten what the teacher said to me to date.
Which brings us to the moment a 6 to 12-year-old was outright about her position when asked, how do you deal with a bully?
And believe you me, a little girl said that, listen, I have to defend myself.
While the reaction is not unique, based on how some parents even threaten to beat their child if they lose a physical confrontation, this parent says it's important where the line is drawn between defend and defense.
And in perspective, she's not altogether wrong, because if you send your child to school and your child become a punching bag, imagine what damage that can do. You're only going to be creating another bully. And the cycle won't end, so you have to put a stop to it.
She has sobering suggestions.
It is okay to defend yourself. It's okay to stand up for what you believe in. But ensure that you're going about it correctly. And that's where I believe that we need to guide our children. We need to tell them the safest ways, different means, different techniques, different styles and patterns of going about approaching a bully, being a friend to a bully, and helping them also to cope from that bullyism that they perhaps are undergoing and want to come out of themselves.
Curlin Brown, CVM News.
Appeal to lawmakers from the church community this evening to clearly differentiate between Obeah and myalism within the framework of the Obeah Act of 1898. This call comes amid ongoing national debate sparked by a recent court case challenging the criminalization of Obeah in Jamaica. Details from Amoy Harriet.
If you check the Merriam-Webster dictionary for the meaning of myalism, it's defined as a system of belief akin to Obeah. In the Obeah Act of 1898, again, Obeah and myalism are deemed as one and the same. Now, myalism is also referred to in Jamaica as revivalism, a denomination that, for decades, has been stigmatized as an Obeah church. But according to some members of the church community, that practice is different from Obeah. Now, the lack of distinction between Obeah and myalism in the law is now at the center of the ongoing debate over decriminalization. That debate was triggered by a constitutional challenge currently before the courts, which argues that provisions of the 19th century law infringe on rights and freedoms guaranteed under the Constitution. Reverend Peter Espute is a Roman Catholic deacon and Dean of Studies at St. Michael's Theological College. Speaking on CVM's Lead Story Prime on Tuesday, he said he's of the view that myalism should not have been criminalized.
I think this was a great injustice, because the history of it is that, if I put it this way, if Obeah put it on, my'll take it off. In other words, Obeah is completely different to my'll. Obeah is a malevolent thing. It's individual. It's not a group activity. It's between the practitioner and the client.
Dr. Claudette Anderson is president and executive director of cultural advocacy group Unichi Foundation. She contends that much of the modern understanding of Obeah has been shaped by Eurocentric interpretations.
The Afrocentric view would that they be one and the same. If the people aren't talking about their practice, why are you defaulting to them being demonic. Because you're using the Eurocentric view that has been written down.
Revivalists are especially urging that the act be revised to draw a clear line between Mayal and Obeah.
To clearly define what Obeah is so people have a full understanding of what Obeah is and so what is right from what is wrong, because we don't want to have that misconception of Obeah as revival as being Obeah or Obeah is revivalism. So we need to make that clear.
Amoy Harriet for CVM News.
Crime is trending down in St. Andrews South. Commanding Officer for the division, Superintendent Damian Manderson, says murders in the division are down by 20%. Member of Parliament Dr. Angela Brown-Burke credits joint efforts between residents and police. Carla Ramdeen has this report.
Senior Superintendent and Commanding Officer for the St. Andrews South Division of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Damian Manderson, says there has been a 20% reduction in murders in the St. Andrews South Police Division.
We are some 61 murders accounted for 2025 compared to 76 this time in 2024. This, of course, carrying on a 4-year trajectory of reduction coming from as high as 160 plus murders per year, where we fell to 130 plus, 120 plus, and then last year, 118.
SSP Manderson says there is still more work to be done, but there has been significant improvement in the crime rate, especially in Greenwich Farm.
30th of September 2025 mark exactly 1 year since we had a murder in the Greenwich Farm community. Greenwich Farm that was normally plagued with violence, accounting for in the excess of 14, 20 plus murders in the past, would have going now 1 year since we have a murder there. And of course, the residents are celebrating wholeheartedly.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament Dr. Angela Brown-Burke says the results are not by chance, but rather the outcome of strong partnership between the police and the residents who are determined to reclaim their communities.
The police themselves will tell you how many individuals, young men and young women in the community have reached out to them and said, let's have a conversation, whether it is on the corner, whether it is at the police station. I've been to several of those because they've called as well.
The MP also emphasized that maintaining progress against crime requires consistency, and she intends to continue playing her role in that fight.
Part of maintaining is to keep the dialogue going, to make sure that the different communities have that opportunity to talk to one another, to work together, to play together, whether it is a football match, whether it is a community meeting, to discuss what needs to be done and what are some of the things they want to see on the agenda. And I certainly will be doing my part in that.
Dr. Brown-Burke was speaking at her annual constituency conference on Sunday at the Caribbean Palm Community Centre. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Lots more to come when we return.
Get ready to take flight. It's Aviation Expo 2025 in collaboration with the Airports Authority of Jamaica and the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, the island's ultimate aviation showcase and family fun day. Join us Saturday, October 4 from 12 to 8 p.m. at Kingston Aerodrome in Kingston with show host Ian Ellis. And guess what? It's free. Plus, the JCAA and JDF will be recruiting. Follow at Aviation Expo JA for updates.
Crunch your craving with the value menu from KFC. With combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi. Brought to you by Grace, Singer, and IslandNet Services.
50 years of finger-licking good memories, yeah.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
Welcome back. It's now time for the Business Report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to share with you in the Business Report today in relation to the advancement of the vision for a connected region currently being explored at the Caribbean Telecommunications Union Information and Communications Technology Week 2025. The occasion provides not only an opportunity to celebrate innovation, creativity, and technological advancements in the ICT field, but also provides a forum to directly address the challenges and possibilities before the Caribbean. Minister of Transport, Telecommunications and Energy Darrell Vaz spoke to the importance of cross-sector collaboration.
We come together at a pivotal moment in our region's digital development. ICT Week is more than an annual gathering. It is a catalyst for collaboration, innovation, and progress. The Caribbean stands at a crucial juncture. With the rapid evolution of digital technologies, we have a unique opportunity to transform our economies, strengthen regional integration, and improve the lives of our citizens. But to do so, we must be bold, unified, and strategic. Whether it's expanding broadband access, fostering digital entrepreneurship, strengthening cybersecurity, or preparing our workforce for the demands of a digital economy, our agenda is ambitious and rightly so. Ladies and gentlemen, as we do our part in driving change, the government of Jamaica recognizes the importance of the satellite communications as part of the mix to bridge the digital divide, and we also recognize the importance of getting the licenses arrangements correct.
Mr. Rodney Taylor, Secretary General of the Caribbean Telecommunications Union CTU, addressed this year's theme of driving change, connecting futures as a regional imperative in incorporating a distinct Caribbean ICT identity.
The CTU is an intergovernmental organization. It is an institution of CARICOM, established since 1989 to drive the harmonization of information and communication technology policy within the region. So it plays a very critical role, and as digital transformation and as innovation has taken over the region and the world, in fact, with developments like artificial intelligence, it is important for us to collaborate to help drive investment in the sector because even though we are small markets, collectively, as we harmonize our regulations, we drive investment and developments within the sector.
Special guests of the CTU ICT Week 2025, Curtis Lindquist, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers ICANN, responsible for coordinating the maintenance and procedures of several databases related to the namespaces and numerical spaces of the Internet, explains within the context of the One World, One Internet motto associated with ICANN.
ICANN's mission, as just heard, is to ensure the stable and secure operation of all the Internet's unique identifier systems. And that mission only succeeds when every region, every community, and every voice are part of that conversation. And the Caribbean is not only a participant in these discussions, they're really a leader in shaping an inclusive digital future. Together, we are laying the foundation for a digital ecosystem that is not only technical or technically robust, but also socially and economically transformative.
And sometimes in unexpected ways. In August 2025, the BBC reported that Anguilla, which has handed the domain address .ai in the 1980s, in 2024 earned $39 million from selling domain names due to the boom in artificial intelligence and the demand for the .ai domain tag. Those sales were responsible for almost a quarter of Anguilla's total revenues last year, with only the tourism sector accounting for more. And though that may be a byproduct of luck for Anguilla, it's reflective of a new domain of possibility for a region that has long struggled for growth beyond traditional sectors.
So there are many more opportunities that we want to discuss. And we want to ensure that small states and small states in the Caribbean have an opportunity to help shape policy within organizations such as ICANN and within organizations such as the International Telecommunications Union.
Minister Vaz, meanwhile, outlined the efforts that have and are being made to ensure internet access for Jamaicans becomes ubiquitous. To date, USF has rolled out over 400 Wi-Fi hotspots and spends approximately $2.3 billion Jamaican dollars annually. In 2025, the USF is expected to roll out an additional 63 community Wi-Fi hotspots.
The USF will also seek to strengthen the commercial appeal and viability of critical sectors by rolling out public Wi-Fi in our tourism hubs and centers across Jamaica. This is a new initiative that will enhance tourism products. Additionally, the USF will seek to revamp our community access points, which are essentially community centers. This revamp will commence in this financial year, focusing on 14 community access points. This revision will transform these centers into smart community centers, connecting community members to electronic and digital public services,
while also potentially connecting a new generation of Jamaicans to the possibilities of a career in online entrepreneurship. And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crossgill.
Stay with us for sports with Jordan Fort after the break.
Ready for Jesus 2025, 25th Jubilee Year of Hope with Father Holong and Friends, a celebration of faith and the life of Jesus Christ at the National Arena. Gala shows on September 27 to 28 and October 4 to 5. Tickets adults $2,000 and $3,000, children $1,200. All proceeds support missionaries of the poor. Get your tickets now. Call 876-774-7350 or 876-809-5877. Jesus 2025. You can't afford to miss it. Jesus.
Crunch your craving with the value menu from KFC. With combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Welcome to Sports, I'm Jordan Fort. Reigning champions Cavalier find themselves in a must-win situation in order to advance to the semi-finals of the 2025 CONCACAF Caribbean Cup, as at sports time against Weymouth Wales FC at Wildy Turf in Bridgetown, Barbados. Cavalier have come from behind to level the score at 1-1 after 13 minutes.